Hello, my name is Gabby Turner and welcome to this pick a card reading. We're going to be looking into who developed feelings first, you or the person you're interested in or the person you're watching this about. So we have three options. Option number one is represented by goddess Lakshmi. Option number two is represented by Lieu Hanh. And option number three is represented by Benten. So those are your three options. Take a moment to tune into your intuition to determine which option or options are reaching out to you. And then just use the timestamps below to go directly to your reading. And I will see you there. Hello, group one. You chose Lakshmi. So let's go ahead and see who developed feelings. So who started feeling interested in the other person first? Was it you or was it them? Okay. So I do feel like it was you. So the you card is the one that's upright, which is the Four of Cups. Their card is reversed, which is the Seven of Cups, and your shared energy is the King of Swords. So bear with me. I do feel like you started to develop feelings first, but you didn't really want to develop feelings with this Four of Cups. You're like, okay, I can tell that I'm starting to get interested in this person, and I don't know if that's really what I want to happen, right? It's like there was a little bit of a battle between your heart and your head. And on their end, we have the Seven of Cups reversed, clarified by the Emperor. I kind of feel like, the reason that they I guess what I'm picking up here is like what their mindset was at this moment when you started to get feelings. This person, I feel like they felt that there were maybe a lot of people who were interested in them at the time, but they just wanted to focus on themselves. Like they felt better just putting themselves first and really not pursuing love at that time. But they had a lot of options, like they were aware with this Seven of Cups, there would be a lot of people, including you, that would be interested in them. But I think both of you were like leaning more towards logic. And so for you, you knew that you were starting to have feelings, but you didn't really want to. And they were just kind of focused more on themselves at the moment. Okay. So do they have feelings for you now, or like have they developed feelings for you since then? Have they developed feelings for you since then? I feel like what they do know is that they do see you as relationship material, or that it has occurred to them, over time. Like, I mean, we have like relationship cards, but they're all reversed. So I do feel like this person, they're like, okay, if I wanted to get into a relationship, I feel like group one would be someone I could go the distance with, right? These are all cards. We have the Hierophant, the Ten of Pentacles, and the Ten of Wands. Like if I wanted a serious relationship, group one, somewhere along the line, this has occurred to them, right? And they're like, okay, let me think about that. Let me think about that, because I could be in a relationship. If I wanted to be in a relationship, group one would be the one to be in a relationship with, but it still doesn't come through with feelings. So I don't know if this person is just not very connected to their feelings. Let me see what's going on. I kind of feel like they are less following their feelings than they are trying to figure out like what is best for my life course. Like I want certain things out of life. We had the Emperor card and now the King of Wands. The energy that those cards both share is like, this is someone who knows what they want out of life and is going to put themselves first in order to get what they want out of life. I think that if they thought that it would be advantageous to them, they would be in a relationship. And specifically, they see you as suiting their goals in life. But I think when this first occurred to them that you would be good relationship material, they weren't ready yet at that point to be in a relationship. But they're like, if I get to that point that I'm ready to be in a relationship, group 1 is the one. So if the two of you are already in a relationship now, I'm just like showing you the timeline as it happened. Like, what was their mindset leading up to now? You know what I mean? Their first awareness of wanting to be in a relationship with you or thinking that it would be good for them was more about suiting their life goals. Like, it would support my life goals to be with group 1, but I'm not yet ready to be in a relationship. And I think that, like, whether they've gotten to that point now or not is probably going to vary depending on who's watching this. For some of you, you might be in a relationship with this person now, so maybe you did get to that point. But for others, maybe you're not there yet. What else should group 1 know about this connection? I do see this person, like, over time developing feelings for you with the Queen of Cups and the Six of Swords. And I think that you'll see that expression of them developing feelings through them, maybe like engaging in acts of service or like sort of chivalry or something. So yeah, I do feel like the feelings will get developed over time more with this person. But it's just a process. So yeah, I mean, you were the first one to have feelings, and that's okay. Anything else that group 1 needs to know here? Yeah, I feel like, just so you're aware, like, this person does feel stifled sometimes by emotional intimacy. I would say, like, it is something that they, I don't know, it's like they rail against it almost. Like, emotional intimacy sometimes feels suffocating to them because I think they've had experiences, maybe it comes from childhood or previous relationships, but I feel like they have had experiences of being smothered emotionally. And so, yeah. So they do, I think they've kind of learned to push emotional stuff away. Like, they compartmentalize their life. They're focused on, like, okay, what am I trying to achieve in life? And what choices would help me to achieve the things that I'm trying to achieve, versus following their feelings. And I think what's interesting to me, like, we did see in the beginning that you were the one that developed feelings first, but you didn't like it. That King of Swords came up in the central card energy there. I think for you, it was because you felt like starting to have feelings for them would probably lead you to not putting yourself first as much. Like, they wanted to keep putting themselves first at that time, at that moment when you were beginning to have feelings for them. And, like, you were like, oh my God, I've started to have feelings for them, and I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to, like, stop putting myself first. And I don't want to do that because I want to put myself first. But they kind of saw it as, well, if I wanted to be with someone at this point, group 1 or one of the other many people who are into me, like, I could make that relationship work for me if I wanted. Like, I could make a relationship work to my advantage if I were interested in being in a relationship. They just weren't interested in that at that time. They didn't feel like it was the right timing for them to be in one. So anyway, I feel like this is someone who they become a more solid and stable, loving partner over time. Like, this is someone who really has to grow up through the process of loving someone and being in a relationship. Yeah, they're not going to have it all together right at the beginning, but I do feel their love growing for you over time, for sure. So anyway, that's what I've got for you, Group 1. I hope that it was helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye. All right, Group 2, you chose Lieu Hanh. Let's get into your reading and find out who started having feelings for the other one first. Did you start having feelings for them first, or did they start having feelings for you first? We shall see. Okay. I think that they started having feelings first. So you're represented by the Hierophant reversed. The shared energy is the Three of Swords reversed, and then their energy is the Three of Cups. Let's see. Okay, so I do feel like they're the ones who started having feelings for you first, but they may have already been involved with someone when they did start to develop feelings. And so with this Three of Swords in reverse here, it's like, okay, they started becoming aware of it. Like, okay, I've got feelings for Group 2, but, you know, like, I don't want to do anything that would cause harm to anyone. Like, I don't think that they were wanting to break up with their partner or anything, or whoever they were involved with. They didn't want to cause turmoil here, but they were aware of their feelings. And I also feel like you were the subject of conversation among their friends, or like their social group, like the people around them. You're like the topic of conversation, I think in a positive way, but it's like I think that's sort of like what started to stir their feelings, is like people were talking about you a lot, and they were learning a lot about you, and they're like, wow, this Group 2 is really interesting. Like, I feel like connected to them through these things that I'm learning about them, something like that. Now, at this time when they were developing feelings for you, you're showing up as the Hierophant reverse. So to me, it feels like there may have been someone at the time who you had the potential of being in a serious relationship with, but you had cold feet. Or if you were in a serious relationship, maybe you weren't really feeling like it was right for you. But it's something like that with this reversal. Yeah, we have the Ten of Swords reversed. It's like an unwillingness to take the plunge. You know, like, this is obviously for a group of people. So I feel like for some of you, it's a willingness to take the plunge and leave a relationship that you're not really that into. And for some of you, it's an unwillingness to take the leap into a relationship, even though it seems like there's someone available that you could have done that with at this time. Like, either cold feet about getting into a serious relationship, or cold feet about, like, you know, cutting loose and moving on, right? You get the idea. But I think for both of you, in some sort of way, there was like a third party situation. But I don't think you did not have feelings for them yet at this point. Like, you're just kind of preoccupied with what's going on over here. And they, even though I do feel like they were maybe involved with someone, they did start to have feelings for you. Yeah, like, I don't think you realized either, like, the degree to which you were the subject of conversation. Like, people were really, I don't know, like, they were just trying to figure you out. Like, almost like, to me, it's almost like putting someone under a microscope. Like, people were just, like, looking at the smallest details of your life and what you were doing, and, like, trying to figure you out like you're some very interesting puzzle, you know. The intentions were good, although, I mean, that might be a little bit unsettling to realize that people are that focused on you. But, okay, tell us a little bit more about Group 2's person when they started having feelings. feel like it was an interesting process for them. Like they went from a place of sort of like not really knowing anything about you at all to suddenly like everybody's talking about you and they're very involved for some reason. Like once they start hearing all this conversation, they start learning about you. I don't know, it like triggers something in them. Why is it triggering something? Like they have a very personalized, like they're personalizing what it is that they're hearing about you. Or yeah, we have the Emperor card. The Emperor card is like Aries energy, Mars energy. It's about taking it personally, feeling like they have some sort of personal stake in all of this hubbub and conversation about you. I feel like maybe they sort of disagreed with some of the things that people were saying. So maybe not everyone was having good intentions in all this dialogue about you, but it's like they were taking it personally. Like I think that they disagreed with, some people may have been saying negative things about you. Yeah, we have the Empress reverse, so they could have, I mean, Empress can reverse can mean a lot of different things, but here with the Seven of Cups, it could be, I don't know, like people could have been saying something like you're an SLUT or even like a sex worker. And personally, I don't have any judgment against that, but lots of people obviously do have judgments a bit against that. It could have been something about like, well, you've been around the block a few too many times type of thing. And this person didn't like people saying that about you. But it's like, I feel like they started to realize they had feelings for you, because they're like, well, I mean, why is this triggering me so much? Like, why is it getting me heated to hear people talk about group 2 like this? That's when they started to realize, we have the King of Cups, that's when they really started to realize that they had feelings for you. And like at that point, they would only, if people were talking about you, that they would only engage with it when people were being positive and had positive things to say about you. Otherwise, they avoided people like the plague who would be saying those negative or judgmental really things about you, right? Because some of those things, they're not negative. It's just that people put negative judgments on them. Like, okay, if you've had, you know, if you've been with a lot of people, like what? I mean, that doesn't make you a bad person. It's just your reality. And anyway, these things may or may not be true anyways, but this person, they kind of like stopped dealing with certain people who were being very negative about you and just gravitated towards people who had, like them, a positive mindset about you. I do feel like this person, they give you a lot of grace. So, I don't know, that's how I'm hearing it in my head, giving you a lot of grace, which my understanding of what that means is basically I'm feeling with this Queen of Pentacles, they respect you and they're willing to give you a grain of salt. Like, even if there were something truly negative or some negative gossip about you, they're like, well, listen, I haven't heard group 2's side of it, for one thing, right? So willing to give you grace, willing to not rush to judgment as well. I feel like this person really thinks the world of you. We have the World card here. I just get a lot of like they're respecting you and they view you as someone who kind of is just living your own life. I think also they were aware that you're probably not knowing about all of these conversations that were happening around you, like, or if you were aware of them, you're like just peacefully, you know, going about your business and not letting it bother you. And they respected you for that as well. Anything else to know about this person, group 2? So if you are waiting for this person to get out of a relationship, you might feel, because they're the Tower reversed, you might be feeling like, okay, this could just end at any moment or something. It seems like it's hanging on by a thread. I just personally, based on these cards, I feel like your spirit guides are saying don't count on it. Don't hold your breath for this person to suddenly be single and available. It's just not in your best interest to do that, because looks can be deceiving. You know, I do feel like this person does go through some issues with the person that they're involved with. And it does also cause them a lot of heartache that they have feelings for you and they're also with someone else. But I don't know. I mean, I do kind of feel like they do also kind of prefer to admire you from a distance also. So group 2, that's what I'm getting. I hope that it's helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye. All right, group 3, you chose Goddess Benten. Welcome to your reading. It's nice to have you. We're going to find out who started to have feelings for the other one first. Did you start having feelings for them first, or did they start having feelings for you first? So I'm using the Everyday Witch Tarot for you guys. For every reading, I just follow my instincts about which deck to use. Sometimes I'll use the same deck back to back. Sometimes I want to switch it up, but okay, I'm going to give a good shuffle here. Who started to have feelings first? Was it group 3 or was it the other person? Was it both at the same time? No. Well, I'm very confused. So the way that I've been doing this so far is, so I'm confused, but I'm going to like be patient with me because we're going to figure out what's going on here. So the way that I was doing this, I was pulling 3 cards, and like, this is representing you, this is representing them, this is the shared energy, and like whichever of these cards was upright would be the one who started developing feelings first. But they're all reversed. And then I clarified, asking the cards, well, does group 3 have feelings for this person? And I'm getting a yes. Does their person have feelings for them? And I'm getting a no. And I'm like, well, did they... I don't know I feel... Okay, let me try one more thing here, because I feel like... Okay, here's the answer. I feel like this is a sort of topsy-turvy situation where maybe it's like one person has had feelings and the other one didn't have feelings yet, and then the other person started developing feelings, and then that first person stopped having feelings. And so it's like there's not a distinct first. I mean, still technically there would be a first, right? But it's like, but it's sort of on and off. Like someone has had feelings and then they kind of stopped having feelings. The other one started having feelings and maybe stopped or whatever. It does feel like right now, in this current energy right now, you are the one who has feelings for them. And they, I think, have an awareness that you have feelings for them, but it's like it's almost like they're wary of getting pulled into it again. Like they know that they could get attracted to you again because it's happened before. But I think they're trying to resist it. Okay. Okay, what do we need to know about this connection? Because it seems a little confusing here. I think that one of the issues is that both of you are kind of like keeping things close to your chest and not like openly revealing. But then you're both, at the same time, you're both like kind of looking and trying to see like what's going on with the other person. Can I pick up any clues that they like me? The shared energy is a lever. So I feel like that's confirmation that at various points, at least, one of you has been interested in the other. Have there ever been points when they both were interested at the same time? No. No. And we even had the Ace of Swords reversed. No. So that's what's also making it more kind of confusing. When one person has feelings, the other person doesn't. And then when the other person starts to have feelings, the first person doesn't. But you both have had feelings for each other. And when you do have feelings for the other one, you kind of look to see signs like, are they feeling me right now? You know? I don't know. Like, okay. You know, I feel like whoever, so right now, for example, the person you're watching this for is not the one who has feelings, you are. And yet they do still like getting attention from you, even though they don't have feelings. It's like they don't stop liking to get attention. Like it feels validating to them. Because they can, I think they have an awareness that you've started having feelings. Yeah, it's like almost like they're aloof, and I think that could go back and forth. Maybe sometimes you're the one who's aloof when they're like coming across as more interested, and then when you're more interested, they become aloof. Why is this happening? Like, why is this dynamic happening here? I think, you know, like we see the ocean tides. Also, we see this crab, which reminds me of the sign of Cancer, and like how it doesn't mean that either of you are Cancers, but like that energy in a chart, or our moon. We all have a moon. You know, it's the part of us that likes to kind of like approach emotional situations cautiously and like, let me go a little bit up to it and then pull away. You know, like the tide, the ocean tide, it comes in, it goes out, it comes in, it goes out. I think that's just what is most comfortable for both of you, is not to like forge straight ahead without stopping, but more like, let me dip my toes in, let me pull out, right, of these emotions, but not wanting to be constantly in those emotions at the same time. It's a way of being emotionally cautious, I guess, basically. What's the guidance for group 3 about this? I think it's kind of like continue to go with the flow like that. Like it's perfectly valid. You know, here she is literally dipping her toes in the water. And here this King of Cups is close to the water, but like keeping his toes out of it. You know what I mean? So I think that your spirit guides are saying like this is a totally valid process, this emotional back and forth, like I have feelings now, I want to pull out of my feelings. They're just saying like that's fine. It's not like there's a problem here to be fixed. Just allow your emotions to be what they are. If they're ebbing and flowing, then they're ebbing and flowing, and that's fine. They do want you, you know, when you're in phases where you've pulled out of the emotions for them and you're not feeling the emotions from them as much, they want you in those phases to really embrace that as well. I think they feel like you are, but like they're just supporting that. Like it's really great for you to embrace those periods also, rather than getting stuck. Actually, I think they're very proud of you for this approach emotionally, because they feel like you don't get stagnated in these emotional waters. Like you don't get to a place where your emotions are causing you mental distress. Yeah. It's like you figured out how to adjust your sails as you go, and because of that, you're not getting cut up in any big emotional storms. You're allowing the situation to be emotionally comfortable for you. rather than to get overwhelmed by it. Final thoughts for group 3. Yeah, I mean, it's basically the same as what we were saying. We have the 7 of Pentacles and then that 9 of Cups again. Like, going at your own pace, going with the flow, the ebb and the flow. It works for you. So, like, you know, why fix something that's working? It's working for you, right? Okay. All right. Well, group 3, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.